Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today, back in Vera Blanc Full Moon, doing our third and final playthrough and going for all of the mini-game related achievements. So what you want to do is want to make sure you start up a new game and make sure you skip the introduction. Once you get to this screen, make sure you play with mini-games. Right bumper to fast forward, and then once you get to the first choice, you want to make sure you make it. So make choice number 1, and then you are going to be introduced to the first mini game. So this first mini game is going to basically be to fill in the letters to form the phrase below, like Wheel of Fortune. So the phrases are never going to change, so all you have to do is just know the phrase and you should be able to solve this. For this first one, the phrase is going to be better not tell Vera what I know about the, and then once you manage to fill in all the letters to spell out that phrase, you should be good for this mini game. Once it's solved, just continue your fast forward until you get to your next choice and you should get your first mini game related achievement. So it should pop as soon as the next choice comes up. There it is. It's going to be reading minds for a 90 gamer score. Now, unfortunately, we just can't skip straight to the next minigame. We're going to have to play through the visual novel bits again, so we're going to make sure we pick these choices to get through the rest of the story. So again, they're going to be listed in the margins, but the downside to this playthrough is you are going to have to play minigames when they do show up. So every time you pick a choice that involves reading a person's mind, you are going to have to play this minigame. Thankfully, I will provide all of the answers to all of them, so just make sure you punch these in, and then you should be good for every single mini game. Once you start up day 2, the second mini game is going to become available to you. The first stop on your way in day 2 is going to be the path in the woods. Make sure you go there, hit right bumper to start the mini game, and to complete this mini game, you need to make sure you find 4 differences on the right side that are different from the left side. I will point out their locations right here, so I'll draw some arrows and you can make sure you click where they go. The differences are going to be different every time, however, their locations are going to be the same. So as long as you know the locations, you should be able to get them without fail. Once you get all 4, you should solve that minigame and be good for the Finding Differences achievement for another 90 gamer score. Once that's out of the way, we are going to have to keep playing the game in order to get to the third minigame. Thankfully, most of the game is going to be your typical visual novel style, so just make sure you look at the places where you need to go and the choices you need to pick in the margins. The only real exception is going to be the reading minds minigame you have to play in the police station. For this one, you want to make sure you fail it, so just punch in 3 random letters in order to fail this puzzle on purpose. And then from here on out, it's just going to be your typical visual novel choices and locations, and you may or may not have to play a few more of those mind reading games. But again, I will provide the answers in the margin. Alright, the location of the third minigame is going to take place towards the end of day 3. Once you get to this choice where you need to pick run away, I recommend grabbing a pen and paper or something where you can write something down. And what's basically going to happen is you're going to skip forward. Once you hit right bumper to skip when you get this part, you're going to get a bunch of numbers that are going to flash on the screen. What you need to do is you need to make sure you write these down. You are going to get a total of 6 digits, and you're going to have to repeat these in the correct order that they come up. So just make sure you write it down, or make sure you record it with a camera or something where you can play it back. And then once you get to the sequence of numbers, you're going to punch them in. They're going to be random with every playthrough, so unfortunately you can't be given the answer here. So you are going to have to punch in whatever numbers show up on your playthrough. But if you manage to punch them in the correct order, you should be good for the minigame. If you are worried about messing up, you can make a save before this. But once you manage to solve the sequence, you should be good for the last minigame achievement. There it is, 90 gamer score. This is also where ideally your completion should be if you happen to get the other 2 playthroughs in. But that's going to wrap it up for the game. Hope you enjoyed the guide, and that's all there is to it.